Hi, welcome to your second video on transformations. On this one, we will be talking about reflections, and you'll be able to graph a reflection by the time we're done. Vocabulary that you need to know. The first one is a line of symmetry. The line of symmetry divides a figure into two congruent or identical halves. I also want to just point out that it doesn't necessarily have to just be one line of symmetry. There can be more. And the example is here. Here is a snowflake looking thing, and the pink lines show you all the different ways that you could fold this and still get the same image. So there are actually 6 lines of symmetry there. And then this one, if I can get it to get bigger. It's not gonna, there we go. The shirt here has just one line of symmetry. So there can be many, there can be just one. A line of symmetry is basically a folding line. Reflectional symmetry is when half of the object is the mirror image of the other half. So very similar to a line of symmetry, just a different wording. And then a reflection, which is the most important thing that we're going to be talking about today, is a type of transformation that flips a figure over a line of reflection. So when you're little, you maybe heard of the word flips to describe a reflection. Reflection is the big word. And then a line of reflection is the line of symmetry between the original figure and its image. And we will be talking a little bit about that in just a second. All right, how do I reflect a shape over an axis? Here is a triangle, and I'm going to reflect it both over the x and the y axis just to show you how this works. So when I'm flipping over the x-axis, I'm going to draw, this is going to be my line of reflection right on the x-axis. And then I'm going to reflect everything over it. So in other words, think of folding that paper over, or that grid over, and then where would those points end up if we were talking about, like paint or markers or something like that? Where would the other pieces end up? So T would end up right here, so we're going to call that T prime. E would end up here. And for you visual learners, this is probably very easy for you to see. And D would end up right here. So then if I were to fold it, those points then would be touching. There is your reflection over the x-axis. I'm going to erase this and talk about the y-axis reflection and what's going to happen. So here's going to be your y-axis line of reflection right here is your y-axis. And then I'm going to fold everything along that line. So here we go. If I fold it, D is actually going to end up right here, just on the other side, D prime. E is going to end up here. And then T will end up right here. And there's going to be my triangle reflected across the Y. So you're just flipping it on the other side of the axis. How do I reflect a figure over a line? This is probably just a little bit trickier, but not too bad. The thing you have to remember is where the line of symmetry is. So we're going to start with this one right here. A is at 2, 0. B is at 6, 0. And C is at 2, -6. And that makes a triangle. And I'm going to reflect that over x equals 1. So you have to remember when it says x equals, that's talking about the x coordinate. So my line of reflection is going to be this yellow line here. And now I'm going to flip it across that. So I'll show you the image in blue. And so where my points are going to end up. Because I was 1 away from the line for A prime is also going to be 1 away. B is 6 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away is where it's going to end up, B prime. And then C was just 1 away, so that's also going to just stay 1 away from that line of reflection. And there's my image being reflected. All right, another one is this one here. So W is -1, -1. X is 0, 0. And Y is -5, 0. So here's a lovely triangle. And then this is reflected over Y equals 2. So we're talking about the Y-axis being the line of 2. So here's my line of reflection. And then I'm going to reflect everything. So X is 2 away from that reflection line. So my X prime is going to be 2 away. W is 1, 2, 3 away. So my new one's going to be here. And Y is 7 away. So it's going to end up right here. And here is my new triangle reflection. The last one is the trickiest one. And so we're just going to use a point. Here is 2, 5. Right here, and that's point A. And we need to reflect it across Y equals X. Please remember that Y equals X, it has a coefficient in front of it. It's 1, or 1 over 1. So as I make my line, it's going to go up 1 and over 1 every single time. So this is going to be my line of reflection here. And then I'm going to reflect it. My line got a little carried away. Now I'm going to reflect it across. So the easiest way I can tell you how to do this is make a little slope triangle like we've done in the past. And then you're going to reflect this over. So because I went over 1, 2, 3 and up 1, 2, 3, then I can do the same thing. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, and then I'll be going 1, 2, 3. It's a little hard to tell because my marker is kind of fat, but the point ends up here, A prime, which is the point 5, 2. The original point was 2, 5, so some of you can kind of see there that your X and your Y are flipping. If it was Y equals -X, then your line would be decreasing instead of increasing, but you should be able to figure that out. IXL help, because when you get to more difficult problems, you're going to see something like this. So here's the point listed for you, and then it says over the reflection line X equals 3. So you need to find that line. Remember, X is talking about those X coordinates. So your line of reflection is going to be right here. And then your point is going to be the distance away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Your point is going to be there, H prime. You'll also see questions like this talking about the Y equals -X. So I showed you X before. Here's -X. You're going to be decreasing by 1 each time. And I apologize, it's really hard to make this a straight line with a big marker like that. But this is close enough. Yours will be a little bit easier to figure out. But then you'll want to make that triangle like I was talking about, and count how many away it is. And then you are going to do the same thing, reflecting away. Alright, so I counted out, there's 12 and 12. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count down 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Count over 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. And if I did it right, they should meet. That's where my point goes. So this is going to be S prime. And that coordinate is -9, -3. And so you can see that those flipped, the numbers flipped. So that also tells me that I did it right. This is the end of your video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.